The island of Jamaica, a jewel of the Caribbean, is a land of staggering contrasts. Its sun-drenched beaches and vibrant culture are known the world over. Yet, venture inland, away from the familiar tourist trails, and you will find landscapes that hold deeper, older secrets. Here, the rivers carve their way through ancient limestone, their waters running cool and dark beneath a canopy of emerald green. One such place is the Bog Walk Gorge, a treacherous yet breathtakingly beautiful passage through which the Rio Cobre flows. It is here that one finds Flat Bridge, a structure that seems almost stubbornly primitive. A simple, low-lying crossing that has claimed countless lives over the centuries. This bridge is more than a mere crossing. It is a gateway to another world. The river itself, the Rio Cobre, is a powerful, unpredictable force. One moment it can be a tranquil, glassy ribbon reflecting the sky, the next a raging, chocolate-brown torrent. Locals speak of it with a mixture of reverence and fear, understanding its dual nature. They say the river has a spirit, a consciousness that must be respected. One such account comes from an elderly fisherman named Roy, a man whose face is a roadmap of his years spent under the Jamaican sun. He describes casting his line into a deep, still pool just downstream from the bridge, a spot known for its large fish. Suddenly the water before him began to shimmer with an unnatural golden light, a luminescence that seemed to emanate from the depths. He saw no creature, but he describes seeing a flash of what looked like enormous, iridescent scales the size of a man's palm, turning just below the surface before vanishing. Another story, shared by a woman who runs a small fruit stand near the gorge, is more direct. As a young girl, she and her friends would often dare each other to swim in the calmer stretches of the river. One sweltering day, she claims to have seen a figure resting on a submerged rock near the opposite bank. She describes a woman with skin that shone like polished copper and long dark hair that seemed to float around her head like a silken web. Most disturbingly, from the waist down, the body was not human but that of a great fish, its tail a fan of shimmering gold and green. The tales of mermaids in Jamaica are not a recent phenomenon. They are threads that run deep into the island's complex and often painful history. To trace their origins is to journey back to the era of the transatlantic slave trade, a time when millions of Africans were forcibly brought to the Caribbean. These men and women carried with them their cultures, their beliefs and their spirits, including the powerful water deities from their homelands. The stories of the River Mama are believed to be an adaptation, a creolization of these ancient West African beliefs, transplanted and transformed in the new, often hostile, environment of the Jamaican plantations. One of the earliest detailed accounts comes from the 18th century historian Edward Long. In his History of Jamaica, he notes the strong belief among the enslaved in a river maiden, a creature half woman, half fish. He described her as a capricious being, capable of luring people to their deaths, but also of protecting those who showed her deference. This duality is key to understanding the Jamaican mermaid. She is not simply good or evil. She embodies the very nature of the river itself, life-giving and deadly, beautiful and terrifying. The mermaid of Flatbridge does not swim in isolation. Her story is part of a vast, interconnected web of water spirit mythology that spans the Atlantic Ocean, linking the Caribbean directly to West Africa. The most striking parallels can be found in the spiritual traditions of Nigeria, particularly among the Yoruba and Igbo peoples. Here, water deities, or orishas, hold immense power. One of the most revered is Yemoja, the mother of all living things, often depicted as a mermaid. She is a goddess of the ocean and the Ogun River, a protector of women and children. The symbols associated with her, mirrors, combs, and the colors blue and white, echo the golden comb and shimmering appearance of the Jamaican mermaid. This spiritual connection extends to other parts of the Caribbean, most notably Haiti. In Haitian Vodou, there exists a powerful water spirit, or Elway, known as La Sirene. Much like the river Muma, she's believed to possess a golden comb, and it is said that to find this comb is to gain immense wealth, though at the risk of being pulled into her underwater realm forever. The stories of La Sirena in Haiti, Yemoja in Nigeria, and the River Muma in Jamaica all share common threads: the mermaid as a powerful, often maternal female spirit, her guardianship over water and its secrets, her association with wealth and beauty, and her dual nature as both a benevolent protector and a dangerous force. One of the most compelling comes from Michael, a scuba diver and amateur historian who has explored parts of the Rio Cobre for years. He describes descending into the darkness, his torchlight cutting a narrow beam through the murky water. At a depth of around 40 feet, his electronic equipment began to malfunction. His compass spun erratically and his dive computer flickered. It was then that he heard something, a sound he describes as a low, melodic humming that seemed to vibrate through the water and into his very bones. It was not the sound of any known aquatic animal, but something far more complex, almost musical. He felt an inexplicable sense of dread and aborted the dive immediately. Another powerful testimony comes from a woman named Grace, who was involved in a car accident at Flat Bridge in the late 1990s. Her vehicle skidded on the wet surface and plunged into the river. Trapped and disoriented as the car filled with water, she remembers a profound sense of calm washing over her. Through the distorted view of the windscreen, she swears she saw a face looking in at her. She describes large, dark eyes, full of intelligence and without panic, and the gentle touch of a hand on the glass before she lost consciousness. She was pulled from the wreck by rescuers who were amazed she had survived. Grace firmly believes it was the river mama who calmed her and kept her alive until help arrived. In our modern age of ubiquitous cameras and data analysis, the question inevitably arises, where is the proof? One such piece is a short video clip captured on a mobile phone by a tourist in 2021. The footage is shaky and of poor quality, showing the river just after a heavy rain. For a fleeting moment, a long, dark shape can be seen moving against the current with impossible speed and grace before disappearing beneath the turbulent water. Advanced AI-powered stabilization and enhancement have been applied, but the results remain frustratingly inconclusive, the image too degraded to offer a definitive answer. Teams have used side-scan sonar to map the riverbed around Flat Bridge, revealing a surprisingly complex underwater topography. They have found deep trenches, some over 60 feet deep, and a network of submerged limestone caves, many of which are too dangerous for human divers to explore fully. It is within this hidden subterranean world that believers say the river Muma resides. Could a large, unknown aquatic species survive in such an environment hidden from science? Ultimately, the most compelling evidence remains in the folklore itself. The consistency of the sightings over centuries, the recurring details of the golden comb, the shimmering scales, and the creature's dual nature all point to a powerful, shared experience. As our journey into the heart of this legend concludes, we are left not with answers, but with a profound and unsettling sense of mystery. We stand at the edge of the Rio Cobre, the dark water flowing silently beneath Flat Bridge, holding its secrets close. We have listened to the earnest voices of eyewitnesses, traced the legend's roots back through the painful passages of history, and seen its reflection in the vibrant cultures of Africa and Haiti. And still the central question remains, hanging in the humid air of the gorge, what truly swims in these waters? To dismiss the legend of the river Muma as mere superstition would be an act of profound arrogance. It would be to ignore the sincerity of the testimonials and the deep cultural significance this story holds for so many. The river Muma represents the untamable wildness that exists not only in the rivers of Jamaica, but also in the human imagination, a space where wonder and fear can coexist. The river Muma is more than a potential cryptid. She is a powerful symbol. She is the spirit of the river, a guardian of history, a reminder of African heritage, and a personification of nature's beautiful and dangerous power. The next time you look into the dark, reflective surface of a deep river, pause for a moment. Listen. You may not see her, but the river Muma might just be looking back at you, a timeless guardian of the unfathomed deep.